Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing our daily transparency update as usual. So if you're new here, that just basically means showing the portfolio's gains or losses for every single stock market day. Sometimes we have really good days in the stock market and with Tesla stock like with yesterday, and then on the other hand, we also have days like today where we're in the red a little bit, or sometimes even more significantly, and I lose a lot of money in the portfolio. But the goal of these videos are to just have transparency and keep it real with you all and share my current thoughts about Tesla stock in the market, and also just keep a record with a portfolio over time, because it's really fun to look back on videos like these in the future, especially when I look back on earlier videos this year and I see how much the portfolio has grown since then. With these videos as well, there's always a heavy focus on Tesla stock because it is 100% of my portfolio. And of course, if you enjoy the Tesla videos and the Tesla discussions, please make sure to smash that like button. I know that right now Tesla isn't technically 100% of my portfolio since we do have a free stock over on the side here, but I don't really count that because it's not something that I've purchased with my own money. And speaking of free stocks, let's check out this one we got from Manuel using my referral link. Really appreciate you supporting the channel, Manuel, or Manuel, if you're watching this right now. I hope you got a really good free stock. And speaking of free stocks, might as well just plug this as well. You can get a free stock with Robinhood if you use my referral link, but a really notable promotion right now is going on with Webull, where you can get 4 free stocks in total, 2 for signing up with my referral link. Those can be valued up to $250, and then another 2 valued up to $1,600 if you deposit $100 into your Webull account. And I actually got both of my parents to create an account with Webull yesterday, and I also, from that referral, from the one that came from my mom signing up, I got a free Snapchat stock, which is like $52 almost, I think, right now. So you can get some good free stocks. That's the most expensive one that I've ever gotten, but especially when you deposit that $100 in there, I think the minimum is $8 on that at least. So it's at least 16 bucks on the extra 2 with a $100 deposit, and you should be able to take that $100 right back out after you get your free stocks. You may have to wait a bit until those free stocks settle, but I was able to take mine right back out. So it's basically just free money. But let's go ahead and check out this free stock before we get into the portfolio update. Let's see what we get here. 489, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid because sometimes I get $3 stocks, so around $5 right there. So that's just an example. That's a free $5 right there. No deposit necessary with Robinhood. So I really appreciate that, Manuel, if you're watching this. But let's get right into the portfolio today. As you can see, we are currently at a value of $254,336.39. And in the normal market hours today, we had a little bit of a dip with Tesla stock. Not anything too significant, especially for it to be a red day. I mean, this is honestly one of the better red days that you could get with this stock, just considering how significantly it moves up and down sometimes. With today, we did have a minus 1.13% drop. That is minus $2,920.74. And in the after hours, we are at minus 0.29%, which is minus $732.35. Keep in mind, we are really early into the after hours, so a lot can change even before after hours close, let alone when the actual normal market hours start out tomorrow. But as you can see, it's just 4:21 p.m. right now, so we're just barely into the after hours. I'm really curious to see where this goes, at least until this chart ends at 6 p.m. and at 8 p.m. when the after hours close for me. So we did have a slight dip with Tesla stock today, and I have to admit, my expectations coming into this week, I was pretty bullish on Monday just because Mondays are commonly good. It's a fresh start with a new week in the market, and especially with all of this going on with Tesla stock, I had good expectations towards Monday. But then where I get a little bit more uncertain is after Monday and the rest of the week, where it could really go either direction. But overall, like I said, I'm pretty bullish on Tesla stock this week, because even if there is a little bit of a sell-off maybe on Thursday or early Friday, I think a lot of the institutional investors and fund managers are going to be picking up some of these shares being sold by the short-term minded shareholders. But overall, like I stated, I'm still bullish on this week, but I was just expecting by default at least one red day. That's just something that naturally occurs within the market, and it's pretty healthy a lot of times. It's what keeps a lot of these short-term investors in check, and if that weeds out some of those weaker investors that aren't willing to hold the stock for a significant amount of time, then in my opinion, that's a good thing, because that transfers shares from investors who didn't have a long-term perspective to those possibly who do have a long-term perspective. And once those shares are finally transferred over from the weak hand investors to the stronger hand investors, then a lot of these long-term vision people are not likely going to sell Tesla stock for a very long period of time. And that's just a characteristic of Tesla stock that I think a lot of us already realize, where we understand that it's a little bit expensive, it's at a premium price tag, tag. But the people who are willing to pay that premium right now, they're paying it because they know they're going to be holding the stock for a very long period of time, probably around 10 years, 10 plus years. So those are long-term investors with a long-term vision that are willing to front up that extra cost because they think they will make a lot in the long term simply by holding for a long period of time. And that's the same vision that I have as well. So I actually view this as a good thing when we have some sell-off sometimes, especially before major events like this as well. In my opinion, it's pretty healthy for the stock just with that to kind of level out expectations a little bit. And then it also presents that possibility of those shares being transferred to investors that have more of a long-term perspective. And also just addressing my current moves in the market right now, honestly, the lower this stock goes over the next week or so, if there is a sell-off after S&P 500 inclusion, I will definitely be ready to scoop up some shares with my Roth IRA account. And the only reason that I'm not making that purchase right now, I do have a tiny bit of cash on the sidelines, not even enough right now to purchase a full share. I'll probably have a little bit later this month to buy a share or two if I wanted to. I stated this in previous videos in my transparency updates that I was planning from pretty much December until like April of next year to save my money because I'm going to have to owe a big tax payment by April. And if I don't make sure that I have cash on the sidelines by that time, then I'm not going to be able to afford it. So that's really what I'm focusing on the most right now. And that's also partially a reason I made that purchase with $25,000 on margin, because any cash that I earn between pretty much now and April needs to go towards that tax payment. And keep in mind, this right here is just money that I could potentially use on margin, but it's not actually cash that I have in this account. It's basically, I topped out my limit at like $27,000 and I'm borrowing around $26,000 right now. It's basically saying between what you've borrowed and the limit that you set for yourself, you can technically use this on margin, but it's not actual cash that I have. I actually owe Robinhood like $26,000 right now. However, the extra $1,000 on the 25, I don't really worry about that because I buy Robinhood Gold anyways. And if you have Robinhood Gold, that first $1,000 does not have an interest rate on it. Basically, your Robinhood Gold payment is that interest rate payment, and I buy that anyways just to have extra information for videos on this channel for Tesla stock and the market and things like that. My mindset with that cash on the sidelines right now, I know that I can't put it into Tesla stock unless I see a huge opportunity, because I really have to stack up that cash to make sure that I get that payment taken care of, and then I can once again start prioritizing Tesla stock. So that's the only reason that I have a little bit of cash on the sidelines. But like I said, if there is an opportunity where I see a really notable discount with Tesla stock, I'll probably just go ahead and try to max out the Roth IRA. I think I owe like $1,370 on it left out of the $6,000 this year. So that's pretty much my logic right now. Keeping that money on the sidelines unless I see a huge opportunity for a Roth IRA purchase, that could also be viewed as like a hedge against this $25,000 position that was borrowed on Robinhood, where I bought $25,000 worth of shares at like $587 per share. So with all of that in consideration, if there ends up being a notable sell-off sometime after inclusion, then I'm ready to put money in that Roth IRA account and get a nice tax advantage discount on Tesla stock, since with a Roth IRA I can really enjoy some tax-free gains on Tesla stock if I wait until I'm like 59 and a half, 60 years old. So like I said, having this little extra money on the sidelines right now is out of necessity. It was something that I was going to do anyways, but if I see an opportunity where Tesla becomes at a huge discount, in that scenario it is kind of a hedge against that $25,000 position that I borrowed on margin with Robinhood, because if it goes under that value, or just whenever I decide that the discount is worth me buying in at, that's an opportunity I can take advantage of. Whereas if it doesn't go under that value, then I was going to wait until like April to max out the Roth IRA anyways, just because I want to make sure I have the money available to take care of that tax payment. So it's not going to bother me if Tesla stock ends up not having a huge sell-off afterwards. It's not like I'm going to regret not putting my Roth IRA money in, because I know that I have to prioritize that for April regardless, and I'll still be really satisfied that my $25,000 Robinhood margin position will have turned out very well. So it's a win-win either way in my opinion, because I want to make sure that I have everything ready for April. But then again, if Tesla stock does take a dip eventually after S&P 500 inclusion, then I'm ready to deposit some funds into that Roth IRA account and take advantage of it. But really my focus at this point in time is making sure that I take care of that in April. And then like I said, I can start to prioritize Tesla stock again. I can pay off this margin a little bit, max out the Roth IRA before the deadline. So I really view that situation as kind of a win-win, because either way, I'm going to get a big discount with a Roth IRA purchase, or I'm going to get some really nice gains on that $25,000 margin position. But taking a look at the movement for Tesla stock today, it started out at 9 a.m. at plus 1.07%. And once we hit this 9:30 a.m. marker, once the normal market hour started, it was at plus 0.62%. We had a little bit of volatility. It dipped under the line here at 9:35 a.m. That was at minus 0.33%. Then it bounces back up a slight bit here at plus 0.93% at 10:20 a.m. And then we have a pretty notable dip downwards until the lowest point of the day at 11:30 a.m., which was at minus 2.20%. And then from that point on, we had a general trend upwards, almost went back over the baseline at 3 p.m. at minus 0.19%, and then it had a little bit of a downturn afterwards until where we are currently. But around this 355 marker, we were at minus 1.08%, and then it just continued to go downwards, where it's at right now at around minus 0.46%. Honestly, I'm not stressing over the dip today at all. Like I said, this really isn't that bad of a day for Tesla stock. If you've been owning this for a while, you know that through experience, and if there is a big discount there, then I'm just going to be taking advantage of it. What we're seeing today might be the effects of some short-term traders selling off a little bit early because they don't want to take the risk of waiting until Thursday or Friday and having a bigger sell-off, and then they sell their shares with less gains that day. And I think what we're seeing today could be some of those retail investors selling off a little bit just to be safe, the ones that were short-term minded and looking for the quick money anyways. But there's always that possibility of some institutional investors selling off a little bit today as well. It's really difficult to pinpoint some of the movements in the stock market, especially when there's not a lot of negative news if it's a red day, because actually today we got a lot more positive news, it seems like, in comparison to yesterday where we really didn't see as much news in general at all. Just checking the rest of the time frames for the portfolio, for the past week we are at minus 3.91%. That is minus $10,328.31. For the past month we are currently up 57.25%. That is plus $92,419.18. For the past 3 months we are up 46.21%. That is plus $80,226.84. For the past year we are up 146.63%. That is plus $150,923.47. And then finally, for the all-time chart, we are up 147.12%, which is $151,019.25. And then just checking out Tesla stock specifically, overall combining the normal market hours and the after hours today, we are at minus 1.54%, which is plus $4,362.95. And then for the total return, we are currently at plus 89.98%, which is plus $132,225.50. I just wanted to have some transparency with today's portfolio movements and give my thoughts about the stock at the moment. Like I said, I'm still pretty bullish overall because the big purchases haven't been made yet. Really, I think where we see most of the action, whether it is up or down, is going to be on Friday and Monday. Those are the big dates to look forward to. And then I'm really interested just to see what happens after the Monday of next week. And I'm curious as to, is there going to be a sell-off? And if there is, how big will it be? But regardless, it can go either way. We've looked back in the past at ones like Yahoo with S&P 500 inclusion, and for like the week afterwards, I believe, the stock continued to go up, and it eventually dipped towards like the very end of the month. But like I said, this is just an example of how it could really go either way, and that's why a lot of us are just so excited to see what happens. But anyways, I've already talked about the referral links and things like that, so I don't want to repeat all of that, but feel free to check them out in the description below. You can get some free stocks. But anyways, please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.